Hey, it's Larry Wood. Welcome to Longview, Washington. I'm here to talk about affordable housing because we don't have any. But I want to show you a house just 2 blocks away in this super cool neighborhood where I'm at. This is Lake Sacagawea, the crown jewel of Longview, Washington. And there's the Old West Side over there. And we bought a really neat house for just under $150,000 just over 20 years ago. Now this house has gone up nearly 4x to $600,000. How can that be? How can houses go up 4 times in just 20 years? I don't think it's a mistake. I used to flip houses before I started my first development company, before I became a builder. And then I've done a number of projects. I'm just telling you that because it means something, because if I hadn't done what I've done, I wouldn't have seen all the layers of rules and the bureaucracy that's been intentionally created that makes housing more and more expensive. Well, Larry, you got my attention, so what are you talking about? Well, our grandkids live up by Seattle, so I have been looking at land up there so that we could build a house closer to our grandkids. And I'm telling you, the rules and the layers of bureaucracy in Kitsap County are so horrendous. It actually intimidates me, yet I've built over 100 homes. And I've been on a first name basis with all the leadership in my city for the last 20-something years. And I think that the mess that we're in, that all of Washington is in, is because of the leadership out of Olympia. So I don't think this is any accident at all. I think that everybody has come to believe it. But if you see over the next month the mess that's been created incrementally, the problem is we just have a memory of 4 or 5 years. You look back 10 years, it just looks normal. It's not normal. This was totally intentional. And every week I'm going to bring a video, and I'm going to be interacting a couple times a week on X. And we're going to talk about the affordability crisis of Washington State and why it is so intimidating, which makes it so onerous and so expensive, and that drives the price of housing up. And you might be going, well, Larry, it's just expensive everywhere. Well, really? My son moved to just outside of Huntsville, and I pay attention to real estate prices and land prices, and I will tell you that in Huntsville, the land costs more than it does in Longview. And yet he was able 2 years ago to buy a 1,720 square foot, 4-bedroom house for just over $300,000. It was brick. It's a beautiful neighborhood. And why is that, Larry? How in the world, how could they buy a house that's 1,700 square foot brick house, big yard? How could that be? Well, it's because in Alabama, they don't have the same rules that we do. And our state is intentionally making it so difficult, and most people don't understand. We're going to talk about the incremental approach that's led to the unaffordability of houses in Washington. But I am asking you to join the channel so you can join the movement, because we're going to be trying to change something. You might be going, well, Larry, who in the world are you? Well, a small group of people that begins to believe things passionately when they're actually true can make a pretty big difference. See that point over there? That's where Lee Greenwood was hoping to sing a song 6 years ago on the 4th of July. Lee Greenwood, I hired him in 2020, and oh yeah, I remember that. You're that crazy guy. So like, wasn't Longview the only city in all of Washington that had a public gathering on the 4th of July? Yeah, that was us. And I nearly got arrested.
Here in Longview, this is typically where the Go Forth Festival takes place, but this year it was canceled. But a group is hoping to continue the tradition and stand up for their First Amendment rights. Now, the event is called We the People 4th of July Celebration. Organizers are planning a 2-day event with a kids parade, talent show, and a live concert by Lee Greenwood. He sings the song, I'm Proud to Be an American. Then on Sunday, they're planning a worship service and cleanup. So far, organizers have paid for everything, but they are waiting to see what the city does. For this event, they hope about 10,000 people will show up for this celebration.
And I was interviewed all over the country because I dare stand up against tyranny that I saw our governor enforcing on us, and I knew it was total bullshit. And I also think the same thing about all the housing rules. I think our government, our leaders, our state is lying to us, and I want to bring the receipts each and every week and help you understand what I've come to know. And I would love a good argument. I think I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to make a lot of outlandish statements, and they're documentable things. And so I've got an opinion. If you care about affordable housing in Washington, I want you to follow this channel. And we're going to put the heat on local governments, because one of the things that we need is tiny homes in our city. And I think actually it's a solution all across Washington. If you did the science, you would be a huge advocate for tiny homes. But you know, there's no allowances for tiny homes. I mean, we have this energy code in our state that's so obtuse, it's absolutely ridiculous. Do you know how much credit they give you for living in a tiny home in Washington State? Nothing. You can live in an RV with walls this thick, but if you build a house that's 200 square feet or 15,000 square feet, you've got to have the same thickness of walls, and the minimum now is 6 inch, and actually it needs to be higher because of the insulation requirements. Well, Larry, it's because we need to save energy and we need to Mother Earth. Well, we're kind of hearing a little bit about what our president thinks about some of the things that we're told. I hope that you're at the point where you can, with me, reconsider some of the stuff that we've been told, because I think when you understand the facts, it's going to lead you to the conclusion that maybe this was absolutely intentional all along. So I hope that you will check it out, come with a critical mind and push back and bring it, because we need to change. And I've got some ideas that are going to stir things up, and I need an army to come along with me and help bring change to affordable housing in Washington State. Thanks. You can follow me on X,